Welcome to 5 Career Questions. I'm Helen, and I help professional women at a career junction build a strategy for their next steps. And today I am chatting with Toby Higson. Hello, Toby.
Hello.
Now, you and I met online back in 2020 when we did our coach training together. And you are a business communications coach and founder of the Language Partnership in Luxembourg.
That is right. Happy to be here.
It's lovely to have you. Are you ready for your 5 career questions?
Bring them on. Let's do it.
Excellent. Okay. So the first question. Tell me about a time when you experienced a career junction, or a time maybe where you felt a bit stuck.
I would say that it was the COVID period, and it's all sort of bizarrely the timelines have all merged a little bit into one. But it was a sort of a huge sort of transition moment for me, because I had a team of 10 in the first iteration of the language partnership, and I knew I had to make some really big changes. That was a moment of really big change for me in my own career.
Okay. Thank you. So the second question. As we go through our careers, as we get a bit older and progress up the career track, our priorities change. So in what one way do you think your priorities have changed?
What I want to do with my time. So when I first created the language partnership, it was an all-consuming, beautiful, but sort of crazy beast in my life, basically. Beast, that sounds quite negative. I need to think of another word. But it was a sort of 24/7 thing for a few periods, for a few years, actually. And I think what's really changed now is I still love what I do, but I have two little boys, and I don't want to be doing the types of hours that I used to do. So it's just how I use my time. It's the value of time. That's been a profound change. And that actually has asked real questions of me in terms of my productivity, what I focus on, what I say no to. All of that's changed as a result of the value I place on time.
Yeah, cool. Nice answer. Thank you. So question 3. What are a couple of maybe key resources or pieces of advice that you've had along the way that kind of stick with you?
So sort of one piece of advice that I really, really like is sort of lean into your strengths. And I like that a lot because I found, having created my own company, and that, there's lots of different stuff you have to do. I've really found stuff that I'm not good at. So some of the admin stuff around having my own business, I'm sort of, I can take, like, in my eyes, I can take huge amounts of time to do something that I imagine someone else could just blast in, I don't know, half an hour. And it's sort of recognizing in my business that there's some stuff that I feel I'm really good at, and there's some stuff that I have to do. And it's not sort of fixating, obsessing about the things that I struggle a little bit with. It's holding that stuff lightly and just constantly reminding myself to lean into my strengths. And I think the other thing I'd quickly say is, and this goes back to the first question, it's sort of knowing when to pivot. Because one quality I know about creating your own business is it's easy to have that tunnel vision. So knowing when, okay, I've really gone down that road far enough. Put your pride and ego to one side and think about maybe a different direction, a pivot and change. That, trusting your instincts and knowing when to pivot would be my second point there.
Yeah, really good points. I love that that first one around leaning into your strengths, because often when I work with clients on strengths, they want to know what their weaknesses are.
Yeah.
And that's great, but like you say, hold them lightly. I love that. Thank you. Okay. So you didn't know this until we were just chatting before, but I hate, loathe and detest coriander. So I cannot abide it, and it doesn't matter whose dinner table I'm sitting at. It's a hard no for me. I can't do it. So if you were to translate that sense, I suppose, for something you can't tolerate something you can't abide. If you think about that from a work setting or professional context, what would yours be?
Mm, that's really, and I have to say, now I know that you don't like coriander. That gives a very different flavor to the question. So, so yeah. So, I think for me, actually, it speaks to I did a lot of work on the values of my website because I used to have a very long shopping list of values that sort of tried to cover everything, and I've distilled them down to 3 essential values. And I think the thing one of those is humility, which sounds a bit cheesy, but it speaks to what matters to me when I'm creating a space for my clients, but it also speaks to what I just really, really don't like, which is arrogance. I just, when I see it and I feel it, sometimes, of course, in the people around me, yeah, it really presses my buttons. And I just think, wow, the world's a really crazy place. We're all in this, in it together, and we don't know where the world's going. Wow, just let go of the arrogance, let go of the ego. Yeah, so the arrogance would be it.
Cool. Thank you. Okay. So I lived for a long time in New Zealand, and in Maori culture, a koha is a gift. And so taking that concept and using it loosely, what gift would you give to somebody going through a career transition or stuck at a bit of a career junction at the moment?
I really like the word, by the way. That word, it's a lovely word.
Koha,
Yeah,
it's
it's a
great,
beautiful
isn't it?
word.
Yeah.
What would I say? Mm. So again, I think this is a little. It's a little quote from my dad, who often is a man of quotes. But it's something about just trusting your instinct, and it's hard to say that without sounding a little bit cliched. It's okay, trust your instincts. But I find I've not when I went through my big sort of career change transition in the COVID period. I had a period of time where I recognized it was quite circular. I was sort of asking for lots of advice and going around in circles a little bit in my own head. And there was a point where I sort of said, well, you know what? There are two options, and they both feel quite close: staying and managing the team of 10, or
Mm-hmm.
just really pivoting and transitioning to me just working as an individual coach. And I just got to that point where I've got to just trust the Toby gut, the Toby the Toby instincts. There's no other way of coming to a decision here. However
Mm-hmm.
good the advice was from the people who really care for me, I needed that. I needed just to go with my instinct. So trust your gut, trust your instinct.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree with that. That's brilliant. Thank you. Okay, so that's the end of your 5 curly career questions. But as you know, you do have a mystery question, which is
Mm.
a concept I borrowed from Stephen Bartlett, whose podcast I enjoy. So, your mystery question:
Mm.
what is the bravest thing you have done in your career to date?
Mm. Great question. It's a double whammy. It's a double whammy answer.
Okay, go
It's
for it.
creating a business in Luxembourg. And I know it was brave because I know the fear that I felt at the start. So I was really aware of like, and I think it's a little bit of like some cultures don't place the same stigma, but it's like, what if this doesn't work? What will my friends and family think back in the UK? Who is this? Who is this guy who's gone to Luxembourg and tried to create his own business? He's never lived in Luxembourg before. And that, yeah, that when I look back, because of the amount of sort of fear that I could feel in me in those early years, questioning, whoa, what if this just doesn't work? That inversely is the bravest thing I've done.
And that is super brave. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
thank you. Well, thank you, Toby. It's been lovely to hear your answers, and it's a pleasure to see you. I haven't seen you for a long time, so this has been great. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you so much. See you then.
See you.